Certainly. Thank you, Mom, is a short story by Langston Hughes, first published in 1958. It is a coming-of-age story that revolves around a brief encounter between a young boy named Roger and a strong, kind-hearted woman named Mrs. Luella Bates Washington Jones. The story begins with Roger trying to steal Mrs. Jones's purse as she walks down the street. Mrs. Jones was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but hammer and nails. It had a long strap, and she carried it slung across her shoulder. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and she was walking alone, when a boy ran up behind her and tried to snatch her purse. The strap broke with the sudden single tug that the boy gave it from behind. But the boy's weight and the weight of the purse combined caused him to lose his balance and fall in the street. The woman did not stop to see if he was hurt. She just walked on down the street, with her purse snatched and a half-scarf trailing over her head. The boy got up and ran, his shoes slapping loudly against the pavement. When he was at the corner, he looked back and the woman was still standing there. She was watching him, her big bag held tightly in her hand. She said, "Come here, boy." The boy stopped. Maybe he thought he was going to be forced to wash dishes or something worse. But the woman said, "Didn't you want to be a big man? I'm going to give you a chance." She led him down a street, to her house. It was a large house with a lot of room in it. The woman took him into a side room and told him to wash his face. She gave him a towel. When he finished, she told him to sit down in a chair. She said, "The room's comfortable. I'm very sorry I had to drag you so far." The boy did not know quite what to say. Something about the woman's quietness and the way she was acting made him feel that she was not going to hurt him in any way. "What's the matter? You tired?" "No," said the boy. "I just want you to turn me loose." "Aha, and I've got a right mind to wash your face for you." "Ain't you got nobody home to tell you to wash your face?" "No," said the boy. "Then it will get washed this evening," said the large woman, starting up some water. "And don't you run off now, you hear?" She looked at the door. "Other roomers in this house get a lot of children out of school. It's a shame the way they live." "Do you go to school?" asked the woman. "Yes, said the boy. "I'm going to tell you something and don't you turn around," said the woman. She was leaning over the back of the chair in which the boy sat, her big bosom rubbing against his back. The boy wanted to run, to break away from her, but her arm tightened around his neck. "You ever been to jail?" "No," said the boy. She said, "I have. Years ago. I was young and crazy and I reckon I didn't know what I was doing. But I've been redeemed. And I hope you will be, too. I wish you would turn me loose, Mom. I'm very sorry I done forgot myself. But you got to admit you did get a funny look on your face way back there. I didn't mean to be funny, son. I'm just sorry for you. I could not bear to see anyone throw his life away." "Yes, the boy said. "And I got to get my breath," he added. "You need not to tell me that." "Neither," said the woman. I have already told you I am sorry for what I did," said the boy. "But I reckon you don't have to tell me that you are sorry. I done forgot it." "You may have forgotten it, but I haven't," said the woman. She reached over and took the boy's hand. "Now, sit still," she said. "When I get through with you, sir, you are going to remember Mrs. Luella Bates Washington Jones." She got up and went behind the screen. The woman did not ask the boy anything about himself. Nor did she tell him anything about herself, except that she was once a kid, too. He did not want to be there. It was his fault that he was there, in the woman's room, being treated kindly, but promptly, by Mrs. Luella Bates Washington Jones. He had been in a few fights himself. But he was a good boy, mostly. He did not know what to say to Mrs. Jones. "Thank you," he said awkwardly. "Thank you, Mom." "What did you want to do it for?" asked Mrs. Jones, still concentrating on the boy's face. "I didn't aim to," said the boy. "I didn't know anything else to do. You thought I was going to say, 'Come right ahead and snatch my pocketbook. Be my guest.' But this lady, she was going to work me to death. And a relative of mine dead about every 6 months. You were lying back there in wait for me to pass by on my way home, and you thought I was an easy touch. Well, you are mistaken. And I'm going to see to it that you don't make this mistake again. Here, take this $10 and buy yourself some blue suede shoes." And next time, do not make the mistake of latching onto my pocketbook nor nobody else's, because shoes got by devilish ways will burn your feet. I got to get my rest now. But I wish you would behave yourself, son, from here on in. The woman put the boy out of her room and shut the door. She turned off the light and the boy could hear her going behind the screen again. But he didn't try to look. He just stood there, listening to the woman as she moved about in the room, and he tried to be grateful. He thought that he would tell his own mother about the woman and the money when he got home. If his mother did not work so hard and if he had told her before he had been arrested, he would not have been there now, he supposed. But the truth was that he had been lying in wait for Mrs. Luella Bates Washington Jones, who was a large woman with a large purse. It was better to be moving than standing still. He was not sure that he wanted to live in a world where this woman kept her hand on his neck. But he felt that he was getting a second chance. He would not forget Mrs. Jones. He would go home and do his chores. Thank you, Mom. Moral of the story in Thank You, Mom. A boy learns an important lesson about kindness and trust from a surprising source. Before reading, think about an unexpected act of kindness you have done for someone or someone has done for you.